to the 7th episode of GLAM, which stands for God Looks After Me. My name is Tim Naden. I'm your host of this show where we invite people from all different varieties of faiths and walks of life to come on and share their own personal God Looks After Me experiences. And today we have a very special guest, which I'll introduce soon. Gee whiz, I'm looking forward to your GLAM, I have to say. Really looking forward to it. Firstly, though, I'm going to bring in our regular panellist. He's also our chief cameraman. He's very good on the editing side of things. Pretty handy basketballer.
Everything behind the scenes, pretty much. You name it, I'll be there.
You're a good soccer player, really good at cricket, man of many talents.
I'm an athlete, that's all I am. And the sport, I'm just good at it. So
anyway, also known as Nutter number 3, Lukey boy. How are you, son?
Feeling great. Good to be back. Good to be back on podcast yet again. Excited for this GLAM, that's for sure. Very excited to hear it. So good to be back.
Great stuff. Looking forward to the weekend when you're going to score a few goals. Pretty
Only 4 goals, who knows? Just 4.
Okay. Also, I have to apologies for Nutter number 1 on behalf of him, Sean's son, we call him. He unfortunately he's really busy, flat out like a lizard drinking, so he couldn't make it. But I'm sure he will be here for the next episode. Actually, before I forget, I was going to mention, as you know, Luke, I love sayings, right? Adages, metaphors, similes. And during the week, I heard this really good saying about faith. It was a quote, actually. And basically, essentially, the quote was, faith is believing what you can't see, right? But the reward of faith is seeing what you believe. And I really love that. It's attributable to a fellow from the 4th century. His name was Augustine of Hippo. He was a bishop, and like 900 years later he got canonized, and so he's known as Saint Augustine. Okay. But I just love that quote, give that man a cigar. Isn't that right?
Another saying, what was that?
But it sort of summarizes too that faith is really rewarding, isn't it? It's uplifting, and to me that epitomizes GLAM.
100%, for sure. Yeah. See what I mean by that, for sure.
So anyway, now it's time to welcome in our very special guest, the very lovely and delightfully beautiful Sahar. How are you, Sahar?
I am well. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh gosh, it's our pleasure. Seeing you here. You have so many great qualities. But look, I know you reasonably well. How about telling the audience a bit about yourself?
Sure. So I am a writer. My background is in journalism. I also work in healthcare. When I'm not doing those things, I am at the gym where we met, playing netball, and I love to travel.
There you go.
That's nice.
Pretty much capture my life in a nutshell.
How's the netball going?
Good. Yeah, we've had some convincing wins, so
wow.
We're aiming for the premiership again.
And the position you play in netball is
centre. Being a petite gal.
Centre of attention. No doubt about it.
Yeah, right.
Good luck in netball. Unfortunately, as a basketball, I think I have to despise the sport, but I still respect netball.
They are very different, aren't they?
Very different. Very different.
Seeming the same.
Well, good luck in your competition, though.
Oh, thank you, and you too.
Okay, so great. So now on to your GLAM. So Sahar, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. So my story that I wanted to share is really meaningful to me, and it might seem like a small idea, but for me it really was a GLAM moment. So last year I set out on a solo trip across Europe, and it was to honour a milestone, and it wasn't just about travelling. It was for me about meaning making. It was like a pilgrimage across cities and cultures, and my hope was to return home with just fresh perspective about myself, about the world. I started in Athens, and I decided during my trip that symbolically that is where I wanted to end, so I would come full circle. prior to that, I was in Madrid, and somewhere along those lines, I fell incredibly sick. And it was really hard for me because the last leg of my journey was meant to be a very reflective, important part for me, and I was really overcome. By the time I landed in Athens, I just did not feel like my body was my own. To get to the apartment I was staying at, I had to get the train, and that's fine, but it just added another 2 hours of transit, and there was no seat. I was carrying my luggage.
Someone didn't stand up for you?
No, it was packed. And in Athens, that's what happens, right? It's
Wow.
just first come, first serve. Yeah. But when you're standing there carrying your luggage, believe me, it is a challenge. A suitcase I had, a carry-on, my laptop, my handbag,
Gee.
everything. Yeah. I
Wow.
know these are small things, but when you're in the moment, everything feels quite
100%,
intensified. Yeah.
I imagine all that luggage together probably weighed more than you do.
Oh, I think it was just about the same amount as what I weigh. But yes, so then I finally reached my stop in the center of Athens. And that's when I realized my SIM card didn't work. That the person in Spain who I bought it from said, it will work, don't worry,
Oh,
when you get to
no.
Greece. So I was just like, okay. Also, there was a thunderstorm. So I was caught in the rain.
Gee.
It is now nighttime. I would have left Madrid at about 10 in the morning. So it's a full day of transit, and I was just wrecked. I couldn't call a cab because my phone didn't work. I couldn't look up anything. I couldn't look up the bus timetables. And so all I really could do was just walk through the rain. I was lugging a suitcase about 30 kilos. My carry-on bag was so heavy, cutting into my shoulder. My laptop, I was trying to hover an umbrella above me to keep,
What an eventful day. Gee.
Oh, just,
my
I'll tell
goodness.
you what.
You couldn't script this.
Yeah, that's insane.
Seriously.
And again, I know it sounds so simple, but given that I was sick, and Tim, you know me, I'm pretty resilient. So if I
very
say
healthy.
I felt defeated, I meant I felt defeated. And so this apartment was only a 12-minute walk away, but it felt like kilometers.
Mm.
And I really struggled, and I just felt I've got nothing left to give. And at that moment, something changed. It wasn't the weather or the situation, but help arrived. I couldn't believe it. These two kind young men suddenly appeared beside me. It's as if they were like placed into my path by a higher design. They spoke to me gently, in broken English, but their intention was clear. And I didn't even have to say very much before they just took my bags off me.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
Yeah.
it was so
That's- yeah,
kind.
lovely.
And I smiled, and with no hesitation, they just said, come, we're going to take you to the apartment. It just all felt so unreal, and the disbelief I had in this kindness and generosity, in a moment that I thought everything just collapsed before me. And again, I know it might sound small, but this was really a big part of my trip because it was the last leg, a point of reflection. I had intentionally come back to the place that I'd started, and I was so sick. But these two young men came to my rescue. We walked through the rain together, and then I learnt that they were from Palestine. And this was a detail that landed with me in such a way that I didn't expect, because as you probably know, Tim, about me, that is a cause to me that is really important,
Yeah.
the plight of Palestinians. And I'd spent so much time at home looking into this and trying to speak up for humanity, and in my own small way trying to understand their struggles and dehumanization. And here in front of me suddenly were two humans who stood there telling me their stories firsthand from Gaza.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and even as we got to the apartment, they came up with me to the stairs. They didn't want me, even in those last minutes, to struggle. They just did everything for me. The kindness was out of this world. And when I got to my room, I remember thinking, I don't even know how to explain this. The feeling really was that God or something divine had just interjected in that moment and helped me so dramatically. Again, it's a small thing, but in that moment,
Massive.
it meant the
That's
world.
not small.
Yeah.
That is really big. Gosh, yeah. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just listening to you.
Yeah, just really the kindest people. Anyway, my glam moment, thanks to them, doesn't end there. I took a couple of days to recover because I was really in a bad way. And then we met up, the group and I, and these people again were so kind. We went to Monastiraki Square, which is the main area in town. You know, think your lights spilling from cafes, people moving through the night, life just continuing. And they were so generous. They took me to a cafe. They insisted they treat me to coffee, gelato. They showed me around, and it was just very special as well because they couldn't speak English properly, we were communicating through pauses and gestures, and Google Translate bridged the rest. But there was something beautiful in those moments where there was this limitation. It's like there was this deep sense of respect and care for each other and understanding. And that's when they began to tell me their story. And what I learned from them is that they actually fled Gaza. And they didn't want to, but they left behind their families, their homes, everything that was familiar. And they had to run away to Egypt. And not just that, then they had to run away to Turkey. And then from there, they had no choice but to swim across the ocean to Greece. They swam.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe it. I remember sitting there listening to their pain, their loss, their endurance, and just feeling something inside me shift because, I mean, I came on this trip with clear intentions to understand people, to connect beyond the surface level of travel, to feel small in a really grounding way. And suddenly I was sitting and immersed in just that, you know, and to think I had all that concern for my luggage and the logistics and my phone not working. And here in front of me were these two symbols of resilience. And I just felt all of my things that I was worried about, of course, just paled in comparison, and so it should have. And so, you know, we had a lovely evening, and then one final moment that came in all of this was that they said to me as I left, and this really landed deeper than I expected, they said, tomorrow we're going to have a dinner, and we want you to be there. We're going to invite all our friends that we have here and the family we have now made our own, and we would love if you were there to honor your presence. And I couldn't even believe what they were saying, like the kindness of that. And not just that, but they said, we're going to make a traditional Palestinian dish for you called maklouba. And now this again was a detail that just landed with me in such a deep way. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Anthony Bourdain, the chef. He was a famous chef. He's
no, unfortunately, I don't know him.
He was incredible.
No, sorry.
That's okay. He gifted this world the most authentic experiences. And on one of his TV shows called Parts Unknown, there is this episode where he is invited to sit with a Palestinian family. And they do exactly this with him. They make him this dish called maklouba, and they sit together, they talk, they chat, and they get to know each other. And I remember when I had watched that episode, just feeling so moved by his experience, and I craved that. I thought, you know what, one day I want an experience like this where I can travel and just have that first-hand authenticity from people who are just real. And somehow these people who I had met in such a moment of need not just helped me, but then gifted me this most beautiful experience. And so the next day I went, and it was just so memorable, everything about it. They went to such an effort to make this beautiful dish, to have me. The home was so cozy and warm, the cushions. Slowly, one by one, of the friends and the new family they had in Athens came in. We sat on the ground, and then the friend that I'd made, Redwan, he brought out this giant steaming dish, and you turn it upside down, and it is like this beautiful giant platter of luscious rice and chicken and eggplant, just shining, so delicious. And we basically sat there and just chatted, enjoyed the meal together, laughed. These people who I didn't even know 2 days ago were suddenly like family. They invited me literally like family. And so it was just a really important moment for me. They told me more about Gaza, how they carry their memories of home in Athens now. And I sat back and I quickly realized all the meaning it had for me, all the meaning they had gifted me, and just this unexpected, unplanned, deeply human connection. And so, coming full circle, if I was to say why all of this was a God looks after me moment, it certainly isn't because everything went right, but it's because meaning arrived so beautifully when I no longer thought I had the capacity to orchestrate it.
But if things hadn't gone bad for you, you wouldn't have met them.
Yeah, and that's
And when I say bad, I think they went well for you. That's because
oh, of course,
that
and I'm
led
so
you
grateful.
to carrying your luggage, feeling unwell, just feeling that's it. I've got no more. And then bang, it's like a miracle, to be honest.
I said to them that these people were like God sent, like
Yeah.
angels. I couldn't believe it. I cannot tell you again the conditions of that storm. The way I was feeling so sick, this virus, again, Tim, you know me. You've seen me at the gym. I will keep going.
Oh yeah, she's hard.
But
gosh, look out, trying to beat Sahar.
but you know, if I say, guys, I'm sick, it means I'm really sick.
Well, I bet you weren't sick after. But that was all sort of forgotten, was it? By the time what a great tonic,
It
who
really
needs
was.
medication when you've got that?
Yeah, and in that exhaustion, and in my uncertainty, this was the final stretch of my journey. It was one that was so important, and it was as though God allowed me to fulfill all of the intentions I had set, which was, to connect with people, to immerse myself in cultures, to have these experiences that are so deep and meaningful, and they reflected every intention I had intentionally set out from the beginning, to understand humanity, connect on a very different level that isn't just on the surface, and to see life not as a traveler but to be welcomed into this world. And that, I would say, is one of my defining GLAM moments.
And look, knowing you're a very welcoming person. You are. That's just you're innately welcoming. You may not even need to do it, but just as soon as someone comes along, you're very warm to everyone you meet. And so that's part of it, I think, too, is that you are so receptive, and so you can be completely out on your feet, like it sounded like you were during that storm, but you'll still be incredibly accommodating to other people because you're always caring about other people. You're just a very, very caring person.
I was certainly a GLAM moment because we were saying like it was struggling in that storm like that, just kind of terrible, and then I was definitely GLAM because God just pretty much gifted you these people that really helped you out. And you said in 2 days that you felt like family. It's just crazy how in those 2 days they welcomed you to the family and just really helped you out. It's a good GLAM moment.
And it certainly reinforces your faith in humanity, doesn't it? It's a bit of a cliche, but it's so true that things happen and then you just, yes, we all have our flaws and we'll have our faults, but people they can just lift out of nowhere.
And that's exactly what happened. And to your point earlier about faith, I couldn't see it, but there landed in front of me these two angels, and in the sickness and the rain and carrying all of those bags and feeling like I just couldn't take another step, they just
We'll have to go over there and do a GLAM with them.
Oh, they would love that. They would love that.
Oh gosh, wouldn't that be amazing? That could be a long-term plan.
Definitely. We can all head over to Greece. Why not?
Yeah. So, and at the end of it, how were you feeling when, say, on the plane back? Had you recovered physically?
Look, no, not entirely. In those couple of days when I arrived in Athens, like I said, I did rest. I went to the pharmacy, got some medicine, and I just took it easy. In a strange way, it kind of helped me to just slow down and unwind and reflect. And that was the whole point of that last leg. That's why I returned to Athens, because I thought this will feel full circle to come back and just start or leave where I started. And so being unwell forced me to reflect. And I think this experience with these young men also aided that in some ways, because I was really taken aback by this generosity and kindness. And again, it made me turn inwards and just reflect on the last few months of travel, all of the wonderful things that have happened, and then to be gifted this last experience, which, I mean, I feel so blessed that happened. And even along the way in my travels, there were little, glam moments, you could say. But to think that, I guess, God gave me this one last meaningful gift was just beyond my comprehension.
And it'd be so uplifting too, and even like now, like as you're saying to us, you're sharing it with us, we're very uplifted by it. It's something you'll take to your grave. It's a memory that you'll have.
Absolutely.
And anytime you're not feeling the best, whatever, you just think back to your glam and know, gosh, what an experience, It's a number of times that I think back on such great experiences I've had. I mean, I've had anything like that, but that's just phenomenal. And the great thing too is that we can all, experience it to a certain extent because of how you're sharing it. It's such a beautiful story.
I mean, I wish someone could have filmed it all so you could actually see the way.
Well, you're a writer, so you might write a book about it and
maybe,
turn it into a novel, but based on, say,
travel experiences.
Yeah, something. Yeah, for sure. I've often said that you should do a travel show, haven't I?
Yeah, I would love to.
You could call it Sahar of Gold, as I told you.
Oh. Love a good pun, Tim.
Oh wow, that was amazing. Just amazing.
That was quite a glam. That truly was.
I have so much gratitude to whoever is looking out above me and to the world and to people like that who really, yes, uplift you and make you feel like you belong.
Yeah, and I've often said it's a great blessing to have faith because you get to appreciate so much. It's, as I said earlier, it's very rewarding having faith. There's a lot of time you might have not even occurred to you. Did you not have faith? You're looking up going, thank you, God, for looking after me.
And it's hope, right? That's what
belief.
keeps us going in some ways.
It does.
Hope.
Hope's such a great thing. It's such a great thing. Wow. So I think we just about time to wrap it up, do you think?
I think you might have to. That was just a beautiful glam, that's for
Beautiful
sure.
glam.
Guys,
We deserved every second of that, I think.
Like a glam was meeting you, no question about it.
Oh.
Meeting you, I don't know if I told you this, but how I met Sahar was, it's quite funny that, because I'll go to the gym and I'll get on the cross trainer, right? And there's this stepper, what's it called? Staircase?
Pretty much the
stepper.
Stairmaster.
And I look at people on that and I never, just glance and that's not for me. But for some reason, one time I decided I'll go on this. And then I should
add that I'm always on this machine because it makes me sweat. It's tough.
Oh, it's a tough. I've
it's
seen
boring,
it. It's a tough
but
machine.
I'm always on it.
It's a tough.
So
machine.
I was on there, and then you were on the one next to it. There were two machines, right?
Yes.
And we just got chatting from it. So I see that as a glam because no chance I would ever have gone on that thing before. But for some reason, I just decided, I don't know, that I went on it, and you were there. So what a glam. Absolute
and equally,
glam.
Tim, you are such a glam for me. You fill my life with so many great conversations, ideas, thoughts. Every time we chat and catch up, honestly, hours fly by, and we're still chatting away.
We're in like a coffee shop or cafe or wherever.
The chairs are being put up.
We get kicked out.
And
we're still going.
We're still going.
Still chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all sunrise, I guess.
Yeah.
It is sunrise all night.
Yeah.
Strong.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Sahar.
much for
Thanks
having
for
me.
sharing it with us. Okay, so it's, gosh, we could, that's something to really, really digest. I loved it. So it's going to wrap it up now. Anything you want to add, Lukey, before? Okay,
Yeah,
so
beautiful. That's all I can say.
as I say, thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you guys.
and
I
to-
appreciate being here.
And to everyone out there, strive to thrive, good fortune, and if God looks after you,
It's a glam.